Hello and welcome to the channel. It's a time of year where I take a look back at all the work that I've done and pick my favorites from 2024. As you can tell, I am not in Vancouver, Washington. I am actually in Baja, Mexico, because the weather in November, early December, back home is a bomb cyclone. There is a massive snow and rain, and the whole region from Northern California all the way up into Vancouver, Canada, is just getting absolutely bombarded with rain and snow and bad weather. So I decided to get away someplace nice and warm for a week to just relax and put my toes in the sand. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video because I'll be telling you all about my 2025 workshops so that you can get on the list and join me in making some great photographs. Now here are my favorites from 2024 in absolutely no particular order. This first image is from out in the eastern Gorge in springtime. The sun had set. I'd already been finished the location that I was going to photograph. I was done with that, and on the way back to the hotel where I was staying, the light just started to kick off in a big way, and I knew that I had to have something in my foreground, and I managed to find these balsam root flowers, and they can just cover a hillside. And I got very, very lucky as I scrambled and raced like mad, found a field, pulled the car over to the side, jumped out, ran out into this field, and managed to capture this shot. This next one, I knew I was going to really like it the second that I saw the scene. This is from my Japan workshop in April of this past year. And it's a very, very simple shot. It's very minimalistic, but I just absolutely love the way that the leaves on the green water and the yellow stalks of whatever plant that is coming up through the water. It's just a really gorgeous, symmetry of the color and the balance in this image, and it's absolutely one of my favorites from the year. If you haven't watched my Iceland videos, I highly recommend you do. I'll leave a link to them up above. But this next image is what I was absolutely hoping for, had my fingers crossed, when I went to Kirkjusfellfoss in Iceland. Well, very first time there in this trip, I was planning on going multiple days in case I didn't get this shot, but I managed to get the right conditions on the very first outing, and the sun just started to get better, the light started to get better and better, and the sky started to absolutely explode with color, and I came away with this absolutely stunning image of Kirkjufell. Continuing on the Iceland theme, this next one, again, I got extremely lucky. I knew what time to be at this waterfall. I knew the composition that I wanted. This is no groundbreaking composition. A lot of photographers get the same or very similar photograph, but I had not made one of these my own. And I think it's important to find new compositions and do things that other people haven't. But I don't think there's anything wrong with going out and capturing an iconic shot. And when you can come away with an image where all the elements line up like I did this night, with the sun and the backlighting of the waterfall and the back wall of the whole cavern of the waterfall just being illuminated by that light as the sun was going down, and then the sun rays popping off the cloud. I was beyond the moon when I took this shot. This next shot was on my Milky Way workshop out at Mount Hood. Now, I've gotten plenty of Milky Way photographs at this location in the past, which is why I included this one this year, because it was star trails. Not something I usually do, but I absolutely love the way that the trails just arc over the top of Mount Hood, and I love the blue hour where I captured this, and I think it came out great. This image is from my Japan workshop, another one, and this is the bamboo forest. It's in Kyoto, and it's another one of those locations that a lot of people photograph. You get there super, super early, the sun starts to come up, and it starts backlighting and illuminating that grove of bamboo that is just incredibly tall. And you've got this nice straight path that goes down, and it's an absolutely gorgeous photograph iconic, and this is one that's going in my portfolio. This next photograph is from my Cannon Beach workshop, and we were supposed to photograph tide pools, and it was as low a tide as we could possibly get, but it wasn't anything in the tide pools. There was nothing. There was zero marine life. And so as we were looking around, the waves were just breaking out on the point, just massive waves. And in the distance, there was the Tillamook Lighthouse, which is abandoned and no longer works. But I knew by watching the waves crash that if we could time it right, we could put waves crashing around the point with that lighthouse right in the center. Set up the tripod, put the camera in burst mode, and just took shot after shot after shot. And this photograph is a composite of 2 images so that I could get those waves breaking on either side with the lighthouse. So the light was super contrasty, and that's why I just decided to make it a black and white. There really was no color because of the harshness of the light. But this is one of those images that if you understand how to work the light, you can see the potential that you could come away with a great photograph. Now, I don't consider myself a wildlife photographer. I don't do it often enough, and I don't pursue it, but I am all about grabbing photographs of cute animals if they present themselves to me. And I absolutely had to include this image. This is from Iceland, and this is an Arctic fox who happened to be near the trailhead. And he just hopped up on this little rock and posed for a good 5 minutes. And with the green grass and just him being so good in posing and that beautiful red and orange fur with those eyes, I absolutely had to include this one. There are plenty of times when I'm out photographing and I'm not quite sure if what I'm taking is going to be, how good it's going to come out, so to speak. You know it's going to be decent, but you're not sure to what extent. And then there are times that when you see something, you know immediately that it's going to be amazing and it's going to be something you're going to want to put in your portfolio. These next 2 images are exactly that. Both of these are from Vancouver Island, British Columbia. And if you haven't seen the videos, again, I'll link to them up above. And by the way, if you don't mind, I would love it if you would hit that like button and subscribe and alert bell, because it doesn't cost anything and it really, really helps my channel grow. It puts that algorithm out there so that other people are presented with my videos and they get a chance to join in as well. And it goes a long way in helping me out. So I really appreciate it if you could take a second and click those buttons. But these next 2 images are from Vancouver Island. And I knew the second that I saw the scenes that it was going to be a portfolio image. Everything lined up. This first one is on a forest trail, and it was foggy that morning and it was muddy, and I was walking along and all these twisted, gnarly trees from the wind on this point, it just came together. I saw this one tree that was just spun and twisted, and it was just like a perfect keyhole to photograph through, and it required a lot of focus stacking in order to get everything really, really, really sharp. But I absolutely love it. I think it came out fantastic. And this is one that I would even put on my wall in my house. This next one is also from Vancouver Island, and it's on Sombrio Beach. And this is the secret waterfall. I think that's the actual name. If you Google map it, it's like this, secret waterfall, but it's not a secret. Everybody knows about it. It requires a slippery little walk up off the beach into this little slot canyon. And as soon as I saw it with a light, it was an overcast day and raining, as a matter of fact. It was raining when I was doing it. And I got back to where the cave was, and again, it was like a keyhole that the slot canyon formed around this lush green moss-covered rocks with a stream of a waterfall going down the back. And then the foreground was this gorgeous little cascade of water. And I knew immediately, with all of those beautiful elements put together the right way, that it was going to come out and be a fantastic image, and it absolutely is. These last 2 images are from Iceland, And the first one is from Diamond Beach, and that is near the Yokosuarlan Lagoon. This was near sunset, and the small pieces of ice that get washed up and just slowly eroded by the ocean create all these dynamic shapes and colors of ice. And I absolutely love the fact that the waves are wrapping around it at the bottom and kind of pulling away. And the minimalist of the background and the sky doesn't really detract from the subject, and it all kind of comes together to make an absolutely beautiful image. This last one is also from Iceland, and this is probably, I said that would be in no particular order, but this is absolutely my favorite shot of the year. I was beside myself. The Yokosuarlan Lagoon is never known for being very calm with a reflection on it. It's usually extremely windy, and with the tide moving and the icebergs moving out into the ocean, there's always motion on the lagoon. So at sunset, when the sky was kicking off and I looked out at the lagoon and it was absolutely a mirror, I knew that there was going to be some magic that was going to happen. And this is one of those times where you know it's going to be a portfolio image. You're watching the sky, you're watching what your subject is, you find the perfect composition, you put it in the perfect place, you set up, and all you got to do is just press the shutter. And this shot is absolutely just, I think it's fantastic. It's all the elements that you could possibly want in an image, and it's absolutely my favorite. This one's going to be going on my wall. If you've watched this far, thank you. In order to capture spectacular landscape images, you need to be in front of spectacular subjects. The best way to do that is to join me on a photography workshop in 2025. If you're new to landscape photography, or maybe you got a new camera for Christmas and you'd like to start creating images instead of just taking snapshots, I'm holding a beginner's landscape photography workshop on the 14th and 15th of March right here in the Columbia River Gorge. We'll start off with an online Zoom meeting the evening of the 14th so we can introduce ourselves and I can answer any questions you have and go over the itinerary for the next day. The next morning we'll shoot from sunrise to sunset, and I can promise that you'll come away understanding how your camera operates better, and you'll also come away with some amazing images. If you like springtime and wildflowers, this workshop's for you. From April 22nd through the 27th, we'll be chasing wildflowers and waterfalls in the Columbia River Gorge. And we'll be using Hood River as our base of operations. This location gives us perfect access to the bluffs that are just coated with wildflowers and easy access to waterfalls on both the Oregon and Washington side of the river. My next workshop has been so popular and so fun that I'm bringing it back for the third year in a row. From June 8th through the 10th, we'll be photographing eagles and herons and more in the Puget Sound on the Olympic Peninsula. This 3-day workshop is action-packed. The eagles literally come to us as they battle over their breakfast in the tide pools, literally yards from where we're standing. We'll be based out of Silverdale, Washington for this workshop, and if you would like more, be sure to join me on my Olympic National Park workshop, which is starting the day that this one ends. This 6-day workshop is from the 10th through the 15th of June, and will be based out of Forks, Washington, which puts us right in the middle, in the heart of the Olympic National Park. We'll photograph the amazing coastlines, the iconic waterfalls, as well as the verdant green rainforests of Olympic National Park. If you'd like to do both the Eagles Workshop and Olympic National Park, be sure to contact me for a special discount. Mount Rainier towers over 14,000 feet tall, and in August, wildflowers literally carpet the meadows. It simply doesn't get any more epic than this, and we'll be photographing the very best that the park has to offer. This 7-day workshop is from August 10th through the 16th, and we'll be photographing all the spectacular locations from Reflection Lake to Little Tipsoo Lake to Paradise, as well as Sunrise. If waterfalls are your thing like they're my thing, then you definitely don't want to miss my 3-day workshop to Silver Falls State Park in Oregon. Fall colors should be at their peak, and when you combine that with 10 waterfalls along an 8-mile trail, we are sure to come away with some incredible images. Join me October 17th through the 19th to capture some of the most amazing waterfalls in the Pacific Northwest. High desert, otherworldly landscapes, check. This 3-day workshop will run from November 7th through the 9th, and we'll be photographing the sheer rock faces of Smith Rock State Park, as well as the incredible landscape of the Painted Hills, all in eastern Oregon. I'll leave links below for each of these locations to get your creative juices flowing. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It's totally free and it really helps my channel out. If you'd like more information on these upcoming workshops in 2025, or you'd like to schedule a one-on-one workshop or post-processing class with me, be sure to check out my website at www.jamesparkerphoto.com. I hope you'll join me on a workshop in 2025. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.